Everybody ready? Come on, let's go.
The Rick Thorne Show! Let's go! The Rick Thorne Show! Let's go!
It's Rick Thorne. I got a very special guest this week, good friend of mine, longtime friend. We've known each other for a very, 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 very long time. Coco, Zurita, Pro BMXer, what are you doing?
What's up, bro? Thanks for bringing me out here.
You like the title Pro BMXer?
Thanks. It works.
You're multi-talented, but
It's
that
been
would
like
be
21 years of receiving the title, so I'm used to it.
You earned your title, though. Hey, just before we get started, you were the first to do a triple toe whip.
I did.
On a vert ramp.
I was the first one doing a landing one officially on wood. Not resi, or wood. Straight
Resi
up.
don't count as much.
Yeah, no, at least back in the day. Now everybody rides resi, so it's fine.
Isn't that
Cool
kind of
with
weird,
boys.
though? It seemed weird.
I think there was a breakup moment in the middle where, like, it felt weird for everybody that was kind of against that. It was like a training period of time.
Yeah.
Landing on a soft landing. But then now people are doing it so much. And also it helped the level. It helped the level so tremendously. So in a way, you kind of have to have it almost.
Yeah.
So I think now people are being more open to that, which is cool, you know?
Yeah, I mean, we're old school. I mean, I'm a little older than you, probably by a couple of years.
Mm-hmm.
And it would be like you would learn a trick into, like, say, for us, it was the water or the snow. This is pre-foam pits.
Yeah,
And then you learn it
exactly.
onto, like, a mat. I remember I learned backflips. We had a mattress holding a blanket. You do it on that, and then you take it away. So it was always like resi was like the next step closer to actually like really doing it. But then it kind of became like I don't frown upon it. I just think that like
Yeah, exactly.
the older generation might a little bit. They might-
Personally, at the beginning, I was a little against it, and then slowly, as I saw the tricks improving and getting extremely out of hand, because
Yeah.
they really are.
probably the same way.
I'm
yeah.
like, dude, you cannot do that on the wood, otherwise you'll break your neck right away. Like, it could be insane. So,
Yeah.
like those triple, double backflips, 360s.
Or all the
and
nitro circus stuff is like
yeah,
that.
exactly.
Yeah.
And it's cool. It brings a new flavor to the sport. Like, the core can definitely stay core, and the resi can definitely stay resi. The vert stays vert. It's like, I think it's its own discipline.
Yeah,
almost,
but,
you know?
but it is. But you just hit something that I was going to tap on right now, is what happened to vert bike riding? You know what I mean?
It's dude. It's
I mean,
good.
it's good that we ride, but I'm saying, you might correct me if I'm wrong, but it's been taken away from X Games.
Vert is good.
It's
Ramp
good.
is waiting for you, fool.
I know,
You
but
better
I'm saying
you better come visit me.
opportunity-wise and stuff, and new people getting involved in vert,
Mm-hmm.
right? Is not because it's not pushed,
No, I think there's a
or
few.
was it always small numbers?
For vert, there's a few different factors. I've seen the 30-year mark of sports being trendy, like the curve wave, right?
Yep.
So, and then it happened to like flatline in the beginning. You know, it happened to longboard. It happened to like the speed longboard with leather suits and all that. Remember?
Right. Yeah.
So every sport has a little bit of a different length of duration throughout their peak of fashionable, trendy, and being on trend, basically, right? So for BMX, I think like for vert, it kind of stopped being popular when street and park took over. Bowls came around. You
Yeah.
know, at some point, couple of years, Vans was involved with the Vans US Open, the Vans Pro Cup, and all that, and then it was all about that. You know, there was a lot of attention towards that and street, and then
Is it the accessibility though, or just the technique? Because me and you are both hardcore vert riders, and I'm not saying that it's dead. I'm not saying it ain't gonna come back. I'm not saying people don't do it. But at one point in time, X Games looked at BMX vert as the Super Bowl of the X Games. Now
Yeah.
I'm not here to say anything
Yeah,
bad,
yeah.
but you have a vert ramp at the X Games, and you're not having a BMX even vert demo,
I think
which seems odd to me. It seems weird.
I
a little
think
bit.
there's a little bit of like the trendy factor, like we're just out of trend, and then also I do.
You mean trend with the kids coming up into riding now?
and the sports too. You know,
Yeah.
when a kid goes and watches ride BMX, it's like, how many vert videos do you see?
Hardly any.
How many vert? And also,
But you also see a lot of the big nitro circus jumping. Did that replace vert riding? I'm asking. You know what I mean?
I don't
What
think
was-
replaced. I
not
think
replaced, but the attention.
Yeah, totally attention. Yeah.
Yeah.
You only got so many numbers.
Right.
You only have so much attention.
Yeah.
So now that attention got switched to something newer, different with new kids, something more fresh. Because I mean, you can only watch a double whip and vert only so many times. This is all about like hyped and newness.
Yeah.
Right.
Flavor.
That's why social media is so powerful because you got like in 5 minutes you can go through like 40 people. Like
Right.
scroll, and all of a sudden everybody has something new. And if you don't have something new, you're out of the game. And like if you don't bring a new fast plan, and a different quarter pipe, then you stop being Rick Thorne. Which
That'll
it
never
shouldn't-
happen.
Which it shouldn't be like that.
No.
You know,
No.
it should never be
But
like
is,
that.
is,
So-
is it so much the trends
but-
or just so much like what is pushed and like
So
like
we got the factor, what I say is like the trend, that's one factor. The other factor is like us as athletes being responsible and keep the sports updated to like whatever was social media. Definitely like most of the athletes were like from the era of like Jamie Rohn, Beswick, Mira, you, Hoffman, all of those guys. Some of them, the leftovers, they were still riding on the 2010 and stuff. But then a lot of these guys wouldn't even do social media. And that's when social media picked up and grabbed a bunch of a whole new generation.
so you mean so you're leaning a lot towards the social media, so it's more kind of like you're saying an awareness because social media brings an awareness. Right?
Totally. And then
So-
before it was TV, everybody, all eyes on TV.
But vert ramps are harder to find though.
Xsims was bringing awareness. Yeah, vert ramps.
See, for you to
So-
ride, vert, right? Okay,
Mhm.
because to let everybody know out there, you live next to Woodward and Tehachapi,
Yeah.
so you have access to a vert ramp. It's right there.
Yeah.
But most kids probably
They
don't.
don't. Yeah, no, that's another point too. Is like how many vert ramps there are, how many people that you admire, they still ride vert. A lot of the guys are retired.
Yeah.
What I was saying, like a lot
Yeah.
of the guys are retired. Like 4 years ago, right before pandemic, it was terrible for like the sport because I analyzed the situation. I was like, okay, so we lost Xsims is not in the picture. It's pandemic.
Yep.
Then McCoy, Beswick, and Simon are out of the picture. So that left out like 5 athletes in vert.
Right, and so the
And,
new. Let me ask you if you might know, and I'm going to be completely ignorant towards it. Are there a new batch of kids coming up to ride vert? I don't see it.
No, there's none. I don't think
I
so.
see the young kids. I see like these little kids. They're
Yeah.
doing like the park. They're doing park riding.
Yeah, a lot. I mean, a lot of the things, like a lot of the park guys, they could potentially ride vert.
Absolutely.
But also there's no competition, there's no money. And sadly, it could have been something like, let's say, in skateboarding, there is Tony Hawk.
Yep.
Do you know? And then for us, we have Vert, Hoffman, and Mira. They
Yep.
were like the staples that could have, and Jamie Beswick, like the
Or Coco
highest,
Zurita.
highest levels. You know,
Zurita.
I'm never gonna be at that level. You know, but they were like up there, and those were like the gods of Vert that they could have keep the flame alive. In this case, Tony did a great job maintaining Vert as a whole discipline and putting his name against companies to leverage the continuity of vert, which is awesome.
But I also think that there's
Smart.
more people that skate vert than BMXers that ride vert.
Yeah, there is. There
I
has
just
been.
feel that way. I could be wrong. I don't know. Maybe there's this batch of people or kids
There's
that are just
been-
ripping. But it's a sign of the times, and But I'm going to get
Yeah.
back to the initial thought, okay? Because we're taking, and this is what this is all about. We're having a conversation about everything. Triple tail whip that you pulled on vert. Did you learn that on a resi first?
Fun pit.
You learned foam pit.
So I practiced on the fun pit as a wild thing, and it kind of became very serious because I had it there in the fun pit for a long time. And then when I saw that I could potentially land it on the resi, Chad Kagi was trying it at the time, and I watched his videos of getting him knocked out and broken off trying it on the ramp, which was intimidating.
Yeah.
But then I was like, yeah, it's fine. I think we can make it happen. I'll just keep practicing. And at the moment, I was training at Woodward with Mark Webb,
Okay.
and then we were doing
He's a
shows.
beast. Yeah, he's
Yeah, and we were doing shows with Cam White, which he just happened to land the triple tail whip on dirt.
Oh, I
Like,
see.
One of the first few guys doing it in the planet. And we were just hanging every weekend. So triple tail whip was a topic. And everybody
it.
was like, dude, you should do it. And I'm like, I've had it. and then Kagi hasn't landed it yet. I'm like, there is a gap. There's an opening right there.
Yeah.
And then we went to a dew tour in Maryland 2 months before X Games, and I was like, I have to do it now, otherwise I won't ever be invited to X Games. And I've never been to X Games before. I used to watch it on
What
TV.
year was this?
07. So I used to watch it on TV when I was a kid, and then
So me and you never competed against each other.
no,
'Cause by 07, I was done
luckily, bro,
competing.
I'm glad we didn't compete because you would have beat me, bro.
I mean, I would have been like, Coco, what's up?
But I watched you. I remember being like 14 years old, 15, and I watched you in Chile.
Yeah.
You came
No, we're gonna get to that,
remember?
but finish this
Okay.
triple tail whip.
You love that story, I
Yeah.
know.
So the triple tail whip. So you got, and I don't want to make this all about just the triple tail whip, but I just
Yeah.
thought that was cool that not many people have done that trick. Has
Yeah.
anyone done it since?
Yeah, no, the what?
Has anyone done it since on vert?
Yeah, after that, like McCann did it, and who else did it? Someone else might have done it. I don't remember. Maybe
Michael do
Vince,
it?
Vince Byron, and then Michael did down, triple down whip.
He did a triple down whip.
Yeah.
He did- yeah. Got
But
it.
it's gnarly because
So-
it's one of those tricks that will kill people. Like McCann
And you just said the word why people probably don't ride vert as much.
It's
not
gnarly,
that it's
yeah.
trendy and not just promoted. You know as well as I do, it is unforgiving.
Yeah.
And like you got, it's a technique where you have to learn to get this air smooth. That at one bottom out, you're done. It's a
Exactly.
technique that you have to learn. It's different than riding a park course.
It's like, yeah.
Not that it's better or worse. It's just a different type of thing.
It's a different
And
thing,
so
yeah.
the fear factor is like huge of like what you could be out. So you just said it.
Fast, very, very fast.
Yeah.
It's super technical, and then it's slow. It's like flatlands, very similar to flatland, where you got to spend a lot of time kind of in the same space, and you got to get creative. And so those are the factors, like not promoted. There's no athletes. Also, it's very gnarly, very gnarly. Like you could really knock yourself out fast, and then the fact that now we got a lot of the badass dudes, they kind of like stop riding because it doesn't make sense to
And
kill
the
yourself.
the attention just shifted.
Mhm.
You know
Yeah.
who tried a triple tail whip first?
Who? Oh, I've heard of him. Yeah. What's
The
his
guy
name?
that invented tail whips.
Johnson?
Do you know who invented tail whips?
Who's that?
Joe Johnson.
Joe Johnson.
You know who
yes.
invented the tail whip flatland trick?
No.
Little trivia for all you out there, anybody
No,
curious.
who's that?
Brian Blyther.
No, Blyther? No
And
way.
you know who invented the bunny hop tail whip?
I heard Blyther is also like the style king.
Oh, he was a style king, and he still
Yes.
is. So, do you know who invented the bunny hop tail whip?
Who did that? De La Rosa?
He called it the Whopper.
Okay.
Flatlander, Bill Nitschke.
Oh, Flatlander? No way.
Yep. Well, he also
Wow.
rode, but at that time he rode ramp and park and stuff too.
Okay.
But you said something
Hybrid.
earlier too. I want to comment on. Vert also back in the day was like that. You would have park guys ride vert because there was not enough people to fill the class even back then.
That's how
It's just a gnarly discipline, man.
It's super gnarly, yeah. And
It's
it
very
got,
small people.
And it got
amount of
super
people.
crazy after Mira got out of the sport, Hoffman got out, and then Beswick took the lead, like heavily. He took it to the next level, and then that's
Yeah.
when things got like mega gnarly, like alley-oop, 5 whips, offset it,
Crazy.
off axis, and then traveling 4 scale like sheet backwards
Which is
without
like 30
looking.
feet, yeah.
Insane, bro. It's insane. Like
Yeah, he's a beast.
unbelievable. Yeah,
He's a
so
beast.
I'm like, that's where like, and him and Vince Byron too. They pushed the limit of the sport. And then I'm more on Simon's side, where I was like, dude, I would love to be number 1, but I don't want to jeopardize. When you're number 1, you're like, you really got to jeopardize a lot, like some friendships, your time, family, opportunities,
Yeah.
everything, right?
Yeah.
And I was willing to
And
do
you
all
find out
that.
you're practicing by yourself.
I was willing to do all that, but I felt like I was missing some sort of anger inside of me just to like go take that shit or fucking something, Like I was missing that little bit. I was way
With
too
your
much
accent
of
on
the
that, you got like American
nice,
Psycho. Just
dude.
like, take it, that shit.
And then, dude, so yeah, it's crazy.
But you know what? You're talking about people like carrying the torch and doing contests and stuff. You do that though. You have a skate park in Chile, don't you?
Yes, I did.
Is it still
I
going
do.
on, or is it?
Yeah, no, it's sick. It's called Signal Park. It's a 5,000 square feet skate park. I bought X Games ramp for it. We got a full park with resi, quarter resi, and box jump resi. We do classes once a month for free. The park is fully open, so
Is the park free to ride, or do you got to do a membership?
It's
and all that?
open up in it's an open space like Central Park, for example, like huge park.
Oh, cool.
Near malls, so like prime
cool.
location in the
Is
city.
it usually pretty busy?
It's sick. It's sometimes, sometimes in the mornings it gets a little more mellow because at lunchtime there's no one around, but in the evening it's just packed.
It's
Lots of
BMX and
kids.
skate and scooter and everything, right?
I let everybody ride, but since we use plywood ramps, it's not very friendly for a skateboard. But the vert is birch.
Got it.
So the birch is skate, scooter, roller, anybody can use it. So
Do you go back to
it
Chile a
works
lot?
awesome. Yeah, I go like 2 or 3 times a year, and then we do events, we do contests. We've done demos with Caballero, Simon Tabron, Tony Hawk was there one time. So
Sick.
we try to stay as active as I can, and that's has become one of my businesses. So we have to run marketing campaigns to extend that it's not just a park anymore where you just put the logos. It's like it's now a marketing agency.
Right.
So we hire people to create content campaigns for brands.
Yeah.
And there's someone that watches over the activities that we do, and then someone else that's constantly building and repairing things. So it's been like crazy juggling,
And your brother, you work with your brother a lot and all that, right?
So my brother became a filmmaker and also a BMX rider. Like we all have like our side hustles or our side passions. Like you had music,
yeah.
you got like tattoos and all that lifestyle. You also got like BMX.
I sell Girl Scout cookies.
You go what?
No, keep going, keep going. You said side hustle, and I was talking about Girl Scout cookies earlier.
Oh, okay.
So
Yeah.
keep going. No,
And
I got you. So you got different things you do. Yeah.
In a way, so as I got older, I was like, okay, what else we can do? My dad started that park. He started it.
Your dad did.
Yeah,
Was he into sports?
He came into the sport because of me and my brother, and then when he passed away, he built the park. He got the connection with the city and everything. He left everything established, and when he passed away in 2012, my mom was like, I don't want anything to do with that, anything, because it was struggle. Like a 60-year-old dad trying to run a skate park out of nowhere.
Yeah, that's tough.
You figure, right?
Yeah, that's hard.
So it's not that easy. So, but he did an amazing job. Every kid loved him because he was providing the place to ride, right?
Was that park there when you came up riding? Is that where you learned how to ride at that park?
Yeah, that's that.
So your dad kind of created a park for you,
to
a platform
cover
for you.
To cover the park was there,
Oh, so he took it over for you. in a
run
sense.
down, and then he was like, you know what? Let me take over this park. I'll fix it. And then all of a sudden he took over the park, grew it.
So it's
grew
been there
brands
forever
and all
then.
that. So it's been for a long time.
Since you were like a little dude.
14 years old, 13. Yeah, that's when I started. And then
Wow, that's pretty cool. I like these
and
stories.
they had like 3 half pipes, large, medium, and small.
Okay.
And the city, when you build a ramp, and this is a message for around the world, like when you want to build a ramp and skate park, you got to understand that it requires a lot of maintenance. Like screws will fall off, they will get rusted, unless it's indoor. If it's indoor, then it might last longer. If you do a half-ass job, dude, you're a screw. In a month and a half, you're gonna have to like re-screw in everything, right?
And stuff rots
And-
out too.
And if it's wood, it's even worse. Outdoor wood in a year will be gone or done if it's rainy, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So for us having the park and the city put the half pipes there, they didn't know they were gonna have, these dumbasses didn't know they were gonna have to replace the ramps after 6 months because everybody was riding, right?
Got it, yeah.
So they got beat, and then after 2 years doing that, the city was like, dude, this place is abandoned. We cannot handle it anymore. That's when my dad, 2 years later, came. I was like, I can help.
Oh, so it was abandoned for a couple of years, just
Ye-
sat there.
Yep. And then my dad was like, yeah, I can help you guys with this. I got time. I don't got a job. Let's do it. So he rebuilt it. And then we did events. We brought the Vans team. And then we'll have like full dinners with Dennis McCoy even.
That's
and
awesome.
Peraza, Pat Casey, all the boys in my family house. At my house, we'll have dinner made at home with the whole team and stuff. Many, many times it was sick. Dennis Anderson, all the boys.
That's cool.
So, and then we'll do demos at the park and all that. And in 2012, my dad passed away. And my brother was too young for this. I don't want to deal with this. My mom was out. And I was like, I'm focusing on X Games. I'm trying to beat Bestwick. Not beat him, but be at his level.
I get it, yeah.
Next thing you know, but I got a message like from God, bro, like a lightning, like slap in the face. Like, dude, this is your opportunity to give back, and this is your opportunity to finish what your dad started. So then I was like, say no more. So at the moment, I called my sponsors, like 4 or 5 of them, and I was like, I got this plan. It's gonna take us 4 months to rebuild. Let's put some money, rebuild the park, make a run. So it started from there, and then it's been a learning process every year after year after year. And in the past 2 years after pandemic, I was like, we need to take things to the next level. So I started taking financial classes, finances, to start running all the whole business, how it should be run. Because in BMX, you don't learn that.
I know, right? I know.
So I started running that, and then yeah, it's been good. It's been.
So you became like a businessman. Were you always businessy like that?
Trying. Well, with the sponsors, you learn a lot. We have to, because otherwise you
You're
don't eat.
self-made, yeah.
You don't eat, you know.
You don't ask, you don't eat. Straight
and
up.
then I started with the cars back in the day, and now after messing with cars around for like 15 years, now I open up finally my studio, like marketing studio.
What's it
filming
called?
Shot off media,
Awesome.
and then here in Ventura. So I opened that space so we can build race cars, and also whenever I need to film, like shoot like a bike check,
Yeah.
or any whatever I need to film, we can just do it there.
So okay, so that's amazing. So you have built this, but you also outside of your love outside of bikes is cars.
Yeah,
So talk to me about
it's like music for you, like very passionate, right?
Oh, that's awesome. So, because there's so many disciplines of cars, and I'm super don't know much about like the just different, you know, like NASCAR, IndyCar stuff.
Yeah.
But what exactly is what you're involved with?
So right now we're more involved in the marketing side of things, not
But you're
purely
into
racing.
driving them and racing them as well, right?
Yeah, I do have my drift car that we take to the track, it's drifting,
That's
and I have my other car that we use for the track, which is the GTR. But it kind of became like a staple, so we try to baby it and don't beat it at the track too much. We use it for exhibition. So right now I realize that there's a lot of opportunities and creativity to be showed in car building, exhibitions, content creation, how-to videos, and a bunch of stuff like that.
So do you wrench on cars too?
I do. I'm not too deeply in engines. Don't quote me on that. I'm not that crazy into like opening up an engine and stuff, but I really like the shapes and design and painting, you know?
Got it, yeah.
So
you're kind of like the Chilean, like, Pimp My Ride. What's up?
I know, yeah. Yeah, totally. Totally. And right now.
Who did that show? Was it Exhibit?
I think so.
Was that who hosted that show? Exhibit, right? Yeah.
Dude, and then it was cool because I always
Get him on one of your things, bro. Hit him up.
I did that. Do what?
Get Exhibit on one of your promos.
That'd be gangster.
That would be awesome, dude. You know what I mean?
That'd be sick.
Yeah, that'd be sick.
So I started with the cars when I first bought my first car here after like winning Dew Tour or so. After like the Triple Tail Week.
Got it.
I was like, I made some cash. I bought a sports car, and then from then I connected with Bucky Lasek.
And he's all into cars.
Dude, he was like, dude, Coco, I want you to understand that for me, my 1 to 5 job skateboarding, Monday to Friday. And the weekends, I go racing. It's like, that's my weekend. I'm like, wow, I never even thought.
Yeah, because a lot of those guys,
So-
like at the time, Mira and Kim Block and Pastrana and even
Yep.
Bucky, they were doing the rally racing for
Yep.
the X Games when they did that for a minute.
Dude, that
I
was
think.
sick.
Didn't they do that for X Games?
The
Right?
glory days of XMs.
Yeah. And I remember they did it at the Home Depot Center or something. So
Yeah, in downtown LA.
So
right?
were you into cars back then too, or was it?
I loved it. And Bucky one day goes like, dude, we're going to be at the Dew Tour competing in Salt Lake City. And I got to film for MTV. You know, we're going to film 3 days in a row at the Miller Motor Sports Park in Salt Lake City.
Oh, sick.
At the Ford Racing School.
Oh, you're like, what?
And then I was like, what? Me? Yeah, come with me. Stay a little longer and we'll go to the racetrack. I was like, hell yeah. So we did that. We had a blast. I learned how to drive. And then from
then you were hooked.
Then I was hooked. Came back to LA, connected with people, started building the race car, raced for 3 years, like on-road course a little bit, time attack stuff. And then I was like, dude, it's kind of boring doing laps. I wanted drifting. Then I got into drifting. And then now things with social media evolved into like marketing, like how can you build your car? What's creativity? Like, can you hand paint a car? So last project we did with Acura for Long Beach Grand Prix was to hand paint a car, one of the brand new TLX.
So who would hand
was
paint it?
sick. I did it myself.
You hand painted it yourself?
So I painted my
What was it,
studio.
like a cheetah print or something? Like
No, actually similar. Yeah, I love prints.
a leopard.
Oh, dude, I love
print.
print. Yeah. So the other one has a leopard print, but it's just stickers prints.
Because I get to see you with like a cheetah print. or
Dude,
something.
totally.
Yeah.
like punk rock.
Yeah.
And then so I hand painted this hand painted this one. I want to explore. I was like, I haven't done it. I always like painting because all the Red Bull helmets that I had, I designed them all.
Okay.
All of them. Like,
So then you're a painter too.
And I had all the prints like cheetah, leopard, tiger, even the wings of a condor, all the helmets collection, animal kingdom, right?
Okay.
So, and then
Wait, say animal again.
animal.
There you go.
Animal.
Animal.
and then all of a sudden I saw myself driving a leopard car. Yeah. Black, wide body, GTR, 700 horsepower in downtown LA. Wow, with titanium exhaust, speeding flame in the back with leopard print. I was like, this shit doesn't get any more punk rock than this.
I
This
knew
is
you were
sick.
leopard print, dude. I get it.
Dude, and
Yes.
then I
Yes.
put it all, I connected all the dots. I used to love painting when I was a kid growing up, my dad too. And then I love designing and making my custom stuff, just like you. You know, like the jacket has to be in a certain way.
Yeah, you gotta do things a certain way.
The amount of ring has to be like perfect.
Gotta
and-
weigh a
and
certain
You
way.
gotta weight it, right?
Give 'em a little-
snap it. Long story short, I told Acura, I was like, dude, you guys got the brand new TLX, which is a family car. Can we make it gangster? Like airbags, wide wheels. You know, we can do custom paint around it.
Yeah.
We can redo the whole interior and all that. And then I was like, and guess what? I'm gonna paint it. And they were like, really? Yeah. We can paint it. We're gonna paint the studio same color as the car, so it looks like crazy. So we did some stripes and lines and shapes, like kind of represent Japanese cartoon. You know, all cartoons
cool.
are very
Yeah.
sharp, so
Yeah.
it kind of came from that, right?
Oh, sick. Okay.
And then, so I've been doing some art at the studio. We've been filming and then fulfilling social media needs for sponsors and
I see some of the sponsors I saw you say, I'm getting ready to go on a road trip.
Quaker State.
Quaker State and Walmart. Are you working with both of those guys too?
Yes, we're working with Quaker State and Walmart. Yep.
Yeah, that's cool. So
Yes,
is Quaker State a
blessing.
sponsor of yours?
Yes, Quaker State, Acura.
So they
And
hire
then-
you for the marketing stuff that you do?
Yep.
Got it.
And they
Got
want
it.
to promote their product, put it under a positive light. Also, I mix it up with a little bit of BMX too. I do ride a lot. It's like for you, like music and BMX, balancing the life between cars and BMX.
Got it. So,
So-
do you find, what do you find, well, it seems like when you were lighting up a lot when you were talking about the car and how stoked you were and like this, do you get the same kind of feeling from that as you do riding, or are they two separate things?
At the moment,
Yeah.
no, there's no way.
BMX is its own.
BMX is like a 20-year-old marriage, you know? So
Yeah.
it's like you're used to it. You're sad. You know what's going on. You're just doing it, maintaining
Oh, I
it.
see what you're saying. You're like,
You know?
you're just
Yeah.
hanging out. Like, I love you. But
You're maintaining that, making sure BMX is sharp, is good, ready for action, ready for fun, always bringing some ideas. But sadly for me, there's no really competition. So before, Corey Nastasio told me this phrase. He was like, I was like, Corey, how you been? And then if you guys don't know Corey Nastasio, you gotta give him a follow. He's not.
Oh, yeah. Legend Pro BMXer.
Dude, I was like, dude, you've been riding, you've been training. He was like, bro, I don't have a reason to die for. And I was like, that broke it down perfectly.
Oh, you're saying
I'm
he
like,
doesn't have a reason to die for. That's why he's not
he-
pushing himself.
Yeah, exactly. So for us in vert, it's kind of the same thing. It's like, dude, you're gonna go ride a ramp that's 90 degrees. It's like 14 feet tall, and you're trying to fly 16 feet higher from that. You're like 24 feet from the ground. All of a sudden, is it worth it, or you're okay flying 10?
Okay, but let me ask you.
Right,
Let me
so-
say this: is it not that it's not worth it, or it's because you did it and you accomplished that goal,
Mm-hmm.
and the opportunities aren't there? Because I can go ride a vert ramp right now by myself,
Totally.
and kill it, and then be like, when's the next demo?
Yeah.
When's the next tour? It's not 2,000 anymore.
Exactly.
There's not 10 contests a year I'm going to. So like,
Exactly.
why am I doing this?
And-
Because I like the way it feels. Okay, so how hard do I got to push myself?
That's basically,
Do you know what I
there's
mean?
no reason to die for. So that's kind of, I
That's
break it
it.
down.
Okay, I
like,
get it.
There's no reason to die for. There's no money on the table. There's no opportunity. There's no big crowd. No nothing.
Not that
So-
you not because you do it for that reason,
Uh-huh.
but that kind of gives an incentive to say, "Hey, I want to push myself and learn some new
Yeah.
tricks."
And or stay
Right?
healthy, like eating well and all that. I know
Yeah.
you're a healthy guy, right? So you
yeah,
eat
I
healthy.
try to be. Yeah.
Fruit, you like fruit.
yeah.
By the way, I brought you a little gift for you.
What'd you bring me?
I know you're a healthy guy.
Oh yeah, bring it here. Some kind of subliminal message.
A little souvenir, bro.
Let me show you how you eat a banana. My son makes fun of me. Ready? Watch.
Let's see if it worked.
That's how you eat
Oh,
it.
you gotta squeeze it like
This is how you do it, bro. Just like this.
a monkey.
Yeah, like a monkey, dude. Dude, thanks for the banana.
little
I didn't even see that in your pocket. I thought it was a flashlight.
little potassium. Yeah.
Yeah, really, banana flashlight.
That was your mind going there, huh? So yeah, it's been fun. It's been great. And BMX right now, like, actually, I gotta point out that ASA last month did 20.
Well, you gotta tell them what ASA is, dude.
Yeah. So
I don't know.
ASA, going back to the point, ASA is like organization, kind of like X Games that does events, competitions. They've been in sports for like 35 years, I guess longer than X Games.
Rick Bratman. I know.
Rick Bratman,
Yeah, I
really
know.
cool.
Yeah,
He did the some shows in Canada, in Toronto. We were there for 20 days with Andy McDonald.
20 days?
Bro, he flew from Olympics straight up to do 20 days straight demos. I
Hold
was
this
like,
thought.
bro.
How do you feel about Andy in the Olympics?
Yeah.
Did you see that?
What?
He competed in the Olympics.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He came from the Olympics.
But he
and-
competed in it.
Andy
And he's the only
McDonald.
like 80-year-old that did that.
Dude, he killed it, bro.
He did kill it.
And then he came to the demos straight up.
Yep.
Dude, every demo, so consistent. We were riding at the last demo of
He's
the
pretty
day.
consistent.
Dude, we had like almost 1,200 people in just the last demo. Every single day for 20 days. It was sick. Lots of people.
20. How many demos a day?
It was just 3 demos a day. So it was gnarly. But in a way,
So you did 60 demos.
I was like excited. I was excited to do riding
good.
every day. I was like, bro, I haven't ridden vert that much in such a long time.
So that
I'm
gave
like,
you an incentive.
I'm stoked.
They gave you an
Yes.
incentive.
So right now I feel fresh.
Didn't you just go to Tony's?
I wanted to go. I ended up didn't making it. This
We got to go
week.
down there.
But I need to go. Yeah, we should definitely go.
So
go
even though
ride
you got,
Tony.
I understand so clearly what you're saying. Because listen, I'm gonna take this like this. People say all the time, "Do you still ride?" And I was like, "Follow my Instagram, dude. Of course." It's like this is part of you that you can't just go like, "Oh, well, since there's no contest, there's no money, and there's no opportunity, then I just won't do it at all."
Yeah.
No, that doesn't exist. You still ride, right? It's just at what level, and that's what it is. Do you feel the same way with riding? Like it's just something you just can't take away.
Yeah, in a way, I have it as.
I mean, maybe the
part
level of
like,
what you're doing competitive wise, but like, do you feel like doing those shows kind of motivated you to be like, all right, this is why I love to do this?
No, more than motivated me. To me, doing the shows it made me feel like better on the bike, more fluid, more
Got it.
loose. You know, of course,
In
you
shape.
break out with it. Yeah, in shape.
In shape.
So in a way, I think I like that. I like feeling being in my comfort zone, feeling that I'm capable. I'm 40 years old right now, and if you think about it, Jamie was winning contests up until he was 47.
Yeah.
Gnarly.
Yeah.
So in a way, it's just right now I'm a perfect timing to like keep the level up and keep it and keep it and keep it. And all you gotta do is just maintain. Unless they do a big contest, if
Trust
they
me, I
put
know.
50K on the table or 100K, I'm like, let's go.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Yeah.
Let's get an old fart
But-
contest. Dude, I ride 10
But-
miles a day on my bike to stay in shape and
That's
give
a
me
lot.
that feeling. And I still hit the park, and I never stopped, ever
It's
stopped.
good, and also
Yeah.
it's a recreation. It does help your mind. It helps your self-esteem. You get some fresh air out in the outdoors. So it has many benefits.
Let me
So
ask
I
you
think-
this. Did you go to that show, change the subject, did you go to that show that me and Tony did in Santiago
Yeah, dude.
in 1990,
8 or
90, it had to be
you went
98.
twice.
I went 98, 99. The second time, it was me, Tony, Matt, and Kevin Robinson and Alan Vano.
And the
And
Flatlander, Dave Smith.
But
Yeah.
the first year, it was just me and Tony
Okay, so I went the second time.
with all of us.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there was like a Yahoo, but it's not Yahoo, but like a chocolate milk sponsor or some shit.
I don't
They had like a big thing next to the ramp.
yeah. I think it was Milo, maybe something like that. It was,
That's it.
It was
yeah.
big, dude. It was.
So
sick.
we were in the stadium. Everyone listening, we were in the stadium. Me and Tony got this opportunity because there was a time where there was a lot of international stuff when X Games culture, let's just say so people understand what I'm talking about, action sports culture started to build momentum in the mainstream. Me and Tony toured everywhere, but it wasn't like we even worked for the same thing. They just asked for me. They asked for him.
Yeah.
We went all over the place. Australia, Chile, France, all over.
So sick.
It was crazy. I was like, who's on the gig? You and Tony. Oh, cool. And then we would go one year, and then the next year they'd bring other people back. And those were the really fresh years.
Yeah,
So I
yeah.
remember when I went there, it was like we were in this arena. There's a bunch of people. Were you one of those kids?
Yeah, so exactly. That's why.
And you were a hardcore. Consider yourself a hardcore rider at that time.
I know. I don't even think I had a full BMX bike at the moment. Not right there. I don't think I had a BMX, but I wanted one so bad. And my cousin was going. Older people. I was like 14, so going alone to arena with a bunch of crazy riders. I mean, it wasn't a good idea. But my cousin was going. He loved BMX, and that's the reason why I got into it. And then I didn't know
crazy.
I didn't know any of these names or anything, right? So I kind of learned them that day. At that moment, I heard them the names before and stuff. But when I went there, we were like, dude, this is sick. It was an amazing show. And I remember at the end of the show, everybody jumped into the ramps.
Yeah.
And everybody was jumping in, even my cousin. And I was like, dude, I'm going to lose him.
Dude, I did a flip over Tony on that one.
So-
They all laid on the ramp. Kevin did.
Really?
Tony, yeah, I flipped over the box.
Dude, I remember that. It was. I think that was
I
probably.
got a video of it.
That was
yeah.
like the best moment of the demo. And then we jumped into the ramps. We jumped the fence into the ramps. Everybody.
Oh, you mean
flooded
you mean you guys came down? Like, yeah.
at the end of the show, everybody came down.
Dude, they
and
treated us like the Beatles there, bro. We were
Dude,
like in a car and they're rocking
rock
the car.
star, dude.
Yeah, I felt like
insane.
John Lennon or something.
So sick.
What? You know, where's
I-
my green M&Ms or whatever?
Dude, it was badass. And then that kind of left a mark on me, like to what's the standard. And then I came to watch X Games, and then all of you guys were there, and I was like,
So then
dude,
I
this
should
is
get a
it.
cut of what you make.
Probably like 4%.
That's crazy, bro. Yeah, that was a good time. Chile, what's the scene like in Chile now? I mean, I know I can't for BMX, but like probably skating's probably huge because skating's huge everywhere. I assume all the time.
Dude,
But-
yeah, they built.
But what's the whole culture like
In
there?
the past 10 years, they built like 6 concrete parks. And,
6?
And out of the 6, 3 of them are really nice.
Wow.
So it grew. Even for us, like even right now, they just built because they did the Pan American Games out in Chile.
Right.
So they were forced to build a full-on bowl and the bike park next to it. So FIS, that hurricane agency, sold the full park to Chile for too much money, and then they built a concrete park too, so kids can ride out there.
Wait, so they have the concrete and the wooden stuff?
yeah,
How big is this
It's
place?
pretty nice, pretty good size, like almost full size as FIS contest, and then even for us it's so gnarly because now the competition is getting crazy in levels of ramps. So now
Yeah.
at my park we have to like invest more money just to bring.
Oh, to keep up with that.
Yeah, exactly. Because in the past 4 years the ramps have substantially grown a lot.
Yeah.
So
Compared to what you had.
exactly. So now we gotta adjust all that. We gotta order a new scale light for the vert ramp and all that. So all that is expensive. You
Yeah,
guys got wood
but-
down here.
But the excitement of it's pretty cool, right?
yeah, it's.
'Cause I feel like when we went there, like there might have been a scene, but not a big scene.
no, dude.
And that was like 30 years ago.
Now there's
or
a
something.
bunch of skate parks. The hype is good, especially the Olympic side. The competition side is like super.
What's your
alive.
opinion about Olympics?
I think it's great. Again, we come back to like resi is another category. Like Olympics is kind of like its own different category. You know, I personally love bull riding, kind of what Vance was doing
Yeah.
with all those athletes and vert and some dirt, but you don't see much of those events anymore. But
I'm,
seems
just,
like
I'm not looking for
momentum.
any. I'm just asking your opinion because I think about these things, and since I'm a little bit older, and we came up from a different time of like why we rode and the reasons
Yeah.
why might be different. But like
It
with
changed
coaching
so-
and stuff, like
Yeah, the thing is like
it's weird.
at
I
fir-
accept it, but at first I was like, well, how can you coach someone that already has competed?
exactly
Isn't the whole point of
The
what we do
thing-
our own thing, not to be coached and told what to do?
totally 100%. The thing is like once you start seeing the results
Yeah.
and the kind of tricks and level these guys are riding, then you're like, oh.
But wouldn't they
snap.
be doing that anyways, or is the coach making them do that?
I think
That's the question.
I think a
Because I'm
coach-
stubborn, I'd be like, I do it myself.
The thing is like even for me riding vert, I was like I could have used a coach for sure.
Yeah.
Because it helps you in any business. You know, you can always any business or endeavor.
You wouldn't have been butting heads
you
like I can do a
start-
triple tail whip, and then your coach would be like, "No, do a
But-
double. You
but
don't
I
need
think
to
it's
get hurt."
more- it's more
Like, no,
than-
I can do a triple.
I think it's more than that. It's
What
more
is
into
it?
the details of like, dude, what
Working
time,
out or
what time
something?
you should ride. Like from the outside, I can see you performing better at 12 versus 4 p.m.
But don't you think that
I'm
that
like,
I'm just
you know,
asking your opinion?
Things like that.
Do you think that those things like I really just come from a different generation, but I feel like when you take away your own creative thought
Mm-hmm.
of what you should or shouldn't do, even trick-wise, it
Yeah.
takes away from the root of what all of it means.
In a way, it does, but also right now, what's the end goal? The end goal is not to express your personal style anymore. The end goal is to
Well, why not, though?
To win the number one. in
Right,
a
but
way,
what about
right?
win the number one and
Through
have your
that.
own style?
Ideally, right? But in a way, like
That's how we did it back in the day.
the things we're talking about numbers now. It's like
No, I know,
so-
but like check this out. X Games back in the day, you had characters.
totally.
Me, Jay
Well-
Miron was his own person. Dave Miron was his own person. They had their own style of writing.
Yeah.
Dennis was his own person. But we all rode. It's kind of, and I'm not saying there's one right and one wrong. I'm not saying I'm an old fart that doesn't want to accept the new. You know, I'm just saying that like it's like punk rock. Back in the day, you had punk rock that was like the Misfits, a Minor Threat, and Black Flag, and those
Yeah.
were all minor. Those was all punk. And then it became to where once it got mainstream, then it all became this certain mold you had to fit.
Totally.
And that's the point I'm trying to get across. Is like when you fit a certain mold,
Mhm.
it takes away from the root of it.
I think
You know what I'm
I get
saying?
your point.
That's just how I feel about it.
I get your point, but the way I personally looked at a coach is like that dude should enhance your style and creativity.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like when you have a marketing team, it's like I don't do marketing by myself for creativity because I'm better with a team.
Got it.
Let's have a meeting. Let's talk about this. What do you guys think about this idea? Okay, let's make it better. Let's add this. Oh, that's brilliant. Let's
Yeah.
go do this. Oh, more PSI. Perfect. Or early training. Perfect. More food. More banana for you every day.
Dude,
banana.
bring it. I don't cramp up. Hey, so
Positive,
yeah,
right? Positive.
I'm not saying it's it's definitely positive, but I'm not saying but and it's positive for people that don't want to do their own thinking.
Think about this
no,
now.
that don't want to do that don't. I'm saying I have a theory on this,
Yeah.
and you might agree, you might not. You could be good at something, doesn't mean you're creative.
No, exactly.
And I come from a creative generation
Yep.
where we rode because we were creative.
Totally.
It wasn't just about being on the podium. There was no podium to be on.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
so I'm cut from. I got into it for a different
Yeah.
reason.
The thing is, like, also,
You understand what I'm saying?
another thing that we tends to happen is that when you think of something, you think of when you think of a coach, what kind of coach do you think? Football, soccer. But then in this case, you gotta grab that coach and shape it into the box of like freestyle coach. So a soccer coach
I
will
guess
teach you
so.
will teach you soccer. A freestyle coach should teach you freestyle. So let's enhance
I
a
know.
freestyle coach to help you at the skate park. Like when you go ride alone, how nice will be to have a homie helping you out, encouraging you.
I'd be annoyed, bro.
hooking you up
Like,
and all
shut
that.
up. Yeah, do that. I mean, I'm going to do it this way.
And
Like,
then-
I used to fight with Dennis about. No, just follow me here. I'm with you on the same page, and I agree with what you're
McCoy,
saying.
right?
I used to fight with McCoy. Check out, funny trick is he would scuff like a funky chicken with the left foot, but I felt natural with my right. And he'd be like, no, scuff with the left. You need to scuff with the left. And Dennis was just trying to help me, but I was always a stubborn ass, and I was
Yeah.
always a punker, and that's who I am. It's like, no, I'm going to learn with this foot. And I was made to feel like it wasn't the right way. Turns
Yeah.
out I was able to do a whiplash into a funky chicken,
Oh, wow.
and he wasn't because of the foot you scuff
Yeah,
with.
yeah, yeah.
So trusting your own natural instincts is beautiful too. You can't, like having a manager and being like, oh no, manager handle it. You don't have any brain thought process yourself. You don't have any go-getter yourself. You're just going to put it on someone else to do it.
I think at that point there's
You know what I'm saying?
nothing set in a stone. And then some people,
just saying.
some people like you, that are more.
Oh, I'm crazy.
Yeah.
I already know I'm crazy. Everyone
So
looks at me like
in
I'm
a
crazy.
way, you will have to have a partner, maybe a homie, a coach, freestyle coach that fits your style.
This kid needs to kiss my ass.
But some other
You're
people,
the best, Rick. Damn straight. You're my
pretty
coach.
much. And and for other people, you know,
I'm getting coached today. You want to be my coach? I'll pay you. Just be like, that shit was dope. I'll be like, thanks, bro. And you're like,
and in another hand, I think. Another hand, I think some other people they want that, they love that. They
yeah, I'm
need
not
that,
saying
you
it's
know?
bad. It's a sign
So-
of the times. It's a sign of
And then also the level.
but I'm not going to justify that it's like, just because it's new and it's like the right way is any different than the way we did it. We did it. We were successful as shit without it.
The thing is, like, I even.
Do you understand what I'm saying, though?
Yeah, but also it's a
Since
whole.
it's at this title of the Olympics,
Yeah.
look, we had our Olympics. We still do.
Yeah.
I think the X Games, I think the X Games is probably stiffer, harder competition because you have more people to compete against.
Yeah, nowadays it's gnarly, but at the
Because
same
they only let so many bikers in the Olympics too.
it's true. At the same time, I think I looked at the sports back in the day, like 10 years ago till now.
Sounds like I'm shitting on the Olympics.
They
but I'm
have
not.
changed a lot, dude. Like what I see on the Olympics and the way the guys are riding, the way they're
Oh, yeah,
riding.
they're badass, yeah.
Dude, it's unreal.
Sick,
It's like
sick.
insane.
I'm not
So,
saying that the Olympics is easy and X Games is harder. Don't get
Some-
that twisted in my listening. I'm just saying you only allow so many people into the Olympics
Yeah.
because the way it's set up, and they only allow so many bike riders in. And being that like we're thrown in with all the other bikes, we actually have less bikers than when you would have skaters. There's like
Exactly.
3 times as many skaters because they're their own entity. We're thrown in with like all the other bikes, and they only allow so many bikes in the Olympics total.
Totally.
So that breaks our numbers down even smaller of how many people actually get into it. Does that make sense?
Totally, yeah.
I'm just
Which is-
comparing
it's
because you're a
gnarly,
competitor.
yeah.
I just wanted to see what you thought.
No,
you know?
I'm super laid back in that matter. Like really,
You think it helps the sport?
huh?
You think it helps?
You know, it help a lot because a lot of
Do you think the
countries-
Olympics helps kids get involved?
Totally, because now that they're doing like coaches, and then when you're a dad, you don't want to throw your kid at the park. Like back in the day, they'll be like, "Dude, just go to skate park. See you later." I'm like, "Mom, I'll be all day at the park doing whatever."
Yeah.
A lot of the time, the kids were sitting down smoking weed.
Yeah.
And they
some
will
of those
ride
kids
for
do.
45 minutes and then talking, chit-chatting, going to the store, smoking weed, and all of a sudden you're like, yeah, I was riding all evening, but not really. You're riding 45 minutes, right? Now, parents have an option of like dropping the kids at the Olympic training facility and have them coach. Be in a
True.
more professional way, straight to the point.
Yeah.
Not just like
Use it for
freestyling
motivation.
It's-
Their motivation.
They're like almost different
Yeah.
sports, different approach to the sport, right?
You know, it's funny you say
It's
that.
like art. It's like art. You got like this corporate art that could be applied to like a Nokia or like Acura marketing and stuff like that. Mixed between hybrid between street and corporate, this and that. And also you got like the street guys that stay in the street. And you got the full corporate dudes that are just doing billboards, right? So it's like, which one is less art? You tell me.
Oh, you're asking me?
Yeah, which one is less or more art?
I think
to
the
that?
one that's more
So it's like-
artistic is the one that does what they want and says what they want when
it's
they
more
want.
artistic,
And
but they're all art.
It's not something that's fabricated
Uh-huh.
and to fit a mold. And,
Yeah.
when things fit
Creative.
a mold, and there is lots of art that fit mold,
Uh-huh.
it's art. But in my mind, at what level do I appreciate that?
Yeah, that's a personal opinion, but they all fall into the same category.
Well, you mean
They
you
have different
asked me, so I was saying how I felt.
yeah,
Yeah.
and they have different characteristics to each own, right? And each one is respected, and each one has their own path.
I get it.
And
One's
budgets
safe and
and
one's
money,
not.
and then everything, right? So
Yeah.
in a way, it's like a personal preference. And I think now for parents, they can choose their own personal preference. I
Yeah.
don't have time for you. Just go to the park. I'll pick you up later. Boom, done.
It's funny you say that because when we grew up, if somebody, and I love this conversation, by the way, I think this is great. When somebody like brought their dad to the ramp,
Yeah.
we'd be like, dude, why'd you bring your dad?
I was that guy. I was like, I hated
Do you
my dad.
understand what I'm
He
saying?
will stand right there and watch me.
So
like,
you're saying like yeah, and you'd be like, because you knew you wanted to ride, and we'd be like, and it's weird because, and I'm not saying it's right or wrong or whatever you want to do. I'm all about opportunity. I'm all about people getting involved. I'm all about positivity.
Yeah.
I'm just comparing the generations. But when you would have like some dude's dad sitting on the ramp, it'd just be the hugest buzzkill. You're like, leave.
Pretty
Why is your
much.
dad here? This is our time,
Yeah.
right? And I know what you mean though,
Exactly.
because the flip side is sometimes I go to skate parks, and I don't see a lot. I don't even really see a lot of bikers at parks anymore, to be quite honest with you.
Yeah.
At least down in California, I don't. And I would see like some people sitting, not doing anything on their phone. But I think what you're trying to say is that when you have a coach, it motivates you to want to do something with it, rather than just sit around and not do anything.
The thing is,
It's
like,
kind of like a motivational kind of thing. To
wh-
push you.
Why I think it's
'Cause-
cool to have a coach is because when I started like aiming, when I was top 10, it was one thing. When I was top 6, was another thing. But to break into the top 4 athletes at X Games, I was like, dude, I gotta really start measuring my body fat weight.
Yeah.
And I found my body weight.
Yeah.
It was.
I know. I saw that. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
found my body weight. I was like, okay,
You're in
thi-
shape. You could
thi-
be a
thi-
UFC fighter.
this is the amount of muscles you want. This is the amount of fat you want.
You could
and-
be a WWE fighter or F or
Imagine.
whatever it is.
A Mexican wrestling.
Yeah.
So,
you have mask and shit.
Tacos. And then So then I was like, okay, we're fine tuning this. Again, my flexibility. Some of my trainers were like, dude, you kind of want to be stiff because your sport benefits from some stiffness. So you don't want to be a ballerina, bro. I'm like, that will break you off. You're too dangerous. You don't want that. You want to be responsive and sharp and fast, right?
Yeah.
With your arms and back and legs on the dude. Like that ramp, we put some G-force measurements, and when you push about 7 Gs on the transition. So 7 Gs, 7 Gs, 7 Gs, 7 Gs for like 14 times. So it's insane the amount of strength and also blood rushing you got in your head when you're riding the vert ramp. And I was like, dude, we didn't know that information. We were just winging it.
Yeah.
I was just eating In-N-Out burger and then wing it. But then
I'm still doing that.
Once I started bringing myself to that level, I was like, okay, we're shaving off seconds, like a Formula One. We're just starting to shave seconds. Now titanium spokes and this and that, finding ways to improve without having to do a quad tail whip. I'm like, how can we improve my game without having to bring a flare double tail whip, a quad whip, or a double flare that will break my leg?
Got it.
I'm like, if I break my leg, I kill the season, maybe a year and a half, and I'll have mental issues afterwards.
Well, I mean, you already got that, but yeah.
More.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know? So in a way, when you bring a coach and that can help you shave those seconds or fix those little points, it's huge. But we don't know it alone. But if you have someone that has the knowledge, he can help you and improve you. So I think that's where I think like the coach will help you. Like, dude, the diet you're having, it's not benefiting your heirs. Whatever you choose or this and that, or like, you know what? I see your casing. Like you're a good bike rider. You could teach a kid how to ride vert, right?
Yeah.
Do you think that kid
I
will
teach kid do anything.
Now let me ask you, do you think that kid will learn faster with Coach Rick Thorne or alone?
Well, it depends on how bad they want to learn, but yeah, I mean, you got a point there to the degree.
With coach or
my
without
thing
coach?
is-
Just say yes.
My
Yes
thing
or
is, yeah, you will learn faster with the advice.
With you.
I look at
Okay,
it more
you're
like,
hired.
I look at more like advice rather than coaching, and I think just the word coaching triggers me.
I think
to
that's
like,
what it
to like
is.
go like,
Mhm.
oh well, so then someone else is doing my thinking for me, or
Yeah.
like. Or predicting like what I need to do through their eyes. I got my own eyes, but that's also I'm a punker, and I want to make this clear to anyone out there listening.
Yeah.
When we did X Games, people talk shit on us. They said the industry talked shit. Not everybody, but a lot of them, and they said we're this that because the attention wasn't on them. So don't think for a second I'm picking your brain about this because I think that the Olympics is dumb and I'm intimidated and I'm the old fart. I'm just asking your opinion
Totally. No, we're talking,
you
yeah.
you could be a coach. You're the kind of guy that could be a coach for a vert rider.
Yes.
Or a rider. And
Or you too. You know so much about the
no,
sport, right?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
in a way you could
so I'm
help
just
people.
picking your brain
So-
on what you thought. Like, so anyone out there, like, I'm not going to be that guy that's like, the Olympics is dumb. Like, they talk shit on us. And we're like, this isn't dumb. We're taking this opportunity to help get people involved.
Yeah.
Only thing I just ask is keep the freedom in what we do because that is the root of writing. That is the root of music. That is the root of the feeling of like, you know what I mean? Of
it's
like being
tough,
creative.
You know, and
That's all.
It is kind of tough too in any discipline. I think even in music.
They don't want you to be creative in Olympics though. You can't express yourself.
I even
it's
watched,
all about the trick.
I even
That's
watched
it.
Freddie Mercury documentary how he will love making music and perform, but then at some point down the line he was like over it. He was like just another show, you know. He was like, and it happens to everything, you know.
Yeah.
I think when you start performing, when you're a kid riding bikes, you love it, but then after 10 years performing, and you chasing number one and score points and money, then it is something else. It's a different monster. You know? So
yeah.
I guess
It's
it
cool.
depends on the route, but
Hey, man,
I'm the style guy. Believe me, I'm 100%. I choose
You-
over number one. In my whole career, I choose style and freedom versus crazy high performance in number one. So that was my direction, and then I still stand behind that, and I love it.
Yeah, the creative, you got to keep the
Now,
creative.
if I look back, yeah, I probably could have made more money, maybe more fame if I would have just put the brake on my bike and for 4 years in a row just learn more tail whips.
You know how I'm gonna end,
But-
we're coming to end this interview, but I'm gonna say this. You know how we could have made more money?
How?
Be skaters. Skateboarder.
or an actor, bro. You're kind of an actor. You've been in
You
movies.
talking to me? Robert De Niro. I'm the only one here talking to me.
You got it. You see?
Hey, so this has been amazing. I love the conversation we had, and I love the way that we're like have our opinions about it, and I think it's great, and this is healthy. And I'm glad you came on the show. And I want everyone to follow what you're doing, your website, your Instagram, whatever. Let everybody know where to follow you at.
Just at Coco Zurita. That's it.
How do you spell Zurita?
Zurita.
You ever do Coco? You know, I got your next ad campaign.
What is it?
Coco for Cocoa Puffs.
I heard that before.
You know what I
It's
mean?
not new,
You could
but
be
it's
like a
good.
bowl. I'm Coco for Cocoa Puffs. And you eat a bowl, and then you do a flare, and then you burn out, drift in your car, and throw some Quaker State on people.
We should hit up
You know what I
some
mean?
of that. Oil with cereals. Quaker shit with cereals.
Brought to you by Quaker State.
Creative director, Rick Thorne. We got a coach. Boom.
Yeah.
Signed. You're
Yeah.
signed, bro.
Yeah,
You're
but I'm a creative coach.
exactly. On the more freestyle things, side of things.
Yo, thanks a lot for watching. Follow Coco. Follow the show. Let your friends know. Thanks for watching, and stay rad.
Everybody ready? Come on, let's go.
Zurita